Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and this is NB12 for Tuesday, November 13th, 2012, broadcasting from the CableSoft studios on Robinson Road. In news tonight, the Prime Minister postpones the gambling referendum. This one day after the Bahamas Christian Council called for that move. A firestorm building at the National Insurance Board, and 200 wheelchairs donated to those in need. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Your NB12 starts right now. After much criticism about the confused process leading up to the December 3rd referendum on gambling, Prime Minister Perry Christie a few minutes ago at a press conference at the Cabinet Office postponed the referendum on gambling until January 28th to provide for widespread consultation. The Prime Minister says the revised referendum will add the question of a national lottery, and a bill will be introduced to Parliament tomorrow regarding the process. Well, with Christie's announcement, the Bahamas Christian Council has gotten its wish. The pastors called on the Prime Minister to delay the vote. Their comments came during the prayer in the square on Monday night, held as part of the Vote No campaign. Vonique Toot reports.
Leaders of the Bahamas Christian Council are accusing the government of rushing the gambling referendum. This after former Attorney General Alfred Sears said yesterday Parliament must pass an amendment to the Constitutional Referendum Act or create a new law before December 3rd. Otherwise, he said, the referendum could face a legal challenge. Christian Council President Reverend Ranford Patterson and Pastor Lyle Bethel say that's what they've been saying all along.
This is not something this is something not new. I don't know why the government feel that they need to do it at this time. I just feel that there are so many other pressing issues that they can be dealing with than to be dealing with this.
Is it a sign that the government is rushing it? It's absolutely the biggest evidence. And I can appreciate the Prime Minister. His last administration, he was accused of being too slow to deal with things. He wants to make sure his legacy is affirmed, that he is being seen as being decisive. And I think he ought to be applauded for certainly attempting to be that, but this is being rushed.
Their comments came during prayer in the square, one of many events planned as part of the Christian Council's Save Our Bahamas Vote No campaign. Voters will decide whether web shops should be legalized, but it is still unclear how they would operate. Additionally, government officials have not yet said whether web shops would be allowed to use the numbers of state lotteries in the United States if the majority of people vote yes. Reverend Patterson feels there is just too much confusion over a referendum that is being held in just 3 weeks.
What I'm hearing people in the community are saying, they don't know what they're voting on. I have no idea what they're dealing with. And so maybe at the end of the day, we would have the right information, and the Bahamian people can make the right decision as we go forward in our country.
Following the May 7th general election, Prime Minister Christie promised to hold the referendum on gambling before the end of this year. However, at this point, Pastor Bethel says it's in the country's best interest for the poll to be postponed.
We're calling for him to just back off of this. We would say, period. Others would say back off of it because it's being rushed. But certainly I think the Prime Minister ought to read the tea leaves, as it were, and recognize no way should we try to have this thing for December the 3rd. No way. It can't work.
Acknowledging that the referendum will be held early next month as planned, religious leaders say they will continue to push the 7 reasons that web shops should not be regulated in their view. They feel it hurts our national values, negatively impacts the most vulnerable members of our society, creates social problems, promotes negative lifestyles, increases crime, hurts our economy, and dishonors God. Religious leaders plan to travel to islands like Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini in the coming weeks to ensure that their message doesn't just reach New Providence residents, but the entire country. Reporting for MB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
A single mother of 6 says she'll be voting no on December 3rd after experiencing firsthand the devastating effects of gambling. Levita Thurston shared her story with MB12 last night during the Christian Council's prayer session in Rawson Square. She says she lost her entire paycheck playing a game of chance at one of the most vulnerable times in her life.
I support Vote No because I was touched by gambling. I went and tried gambling and I lost my whole paycheck that Friday. And you know what it is for a mother to come home without $1 in her pocket and can't feed her children. I had to borrow money that week, and that hurt me.
The former gambler says it has also negatively impacted the people around her. That's why she's encouraging others to vote no.
I've seen incidences where you have parents taking $1 from one child, $1 from the next child just to go and gamble. But if we come against this gambling thing and we vote no, they won't come so much out to be free in doing it. But if gambling get legalized, they're gonna come out and they ain't gonna care. But if we don't legalize it, you know, they'll be in hiding. I don't think you could stop it, but you could keep it down.
And the minister responsible for the National Insurance Board, Shane Gibson, says until an investigation is conducted relating to claims made against NIB Director Algernon Cargill by NIB's board, the director will remain in his post. Over the weekend, a letter written by NIB's chairman Gregory Moss was leaked, which detailed a series of very serious allegations against the director. That letter revealed that the board voted to have Cargill and another board executive fired. Today, Gibson said NIB is dealing with the matter internally and does not now see a need to have anyone removed from their positions at the board.
I think at this stage it's important for us to try to have an independent person to really, or company auditors to go in and really look at all of the things that were said and to determine whether or not there's any truth. I mean, it's all alleged as far as I'm concerned so far, and it would be wrong for anybody to jump to the conclusion prior to us having an opportunity to properly investigate it by somebody independent, not anybody actually a part of the situation.
Prime Minister Christie weighed in on the matter today, saying that it is difficult when people try to force the hand of an administration by leaking sensitive information. He said, nevertheless, the government will act with fairness.
It's a matter of hearing the allegations, which has been put in writing, and being able to investigate those allegations to determine the truth of them, and to be able to give, as natural justice requires, that somebody is given an opportunity to speak in defense of themselves. It's a very, very serious position. And the lead person on national insurance, the director, they're very serious allegations. But we have to ensure that when we deal with this matter, as it is being dealt with at the ministerial level, that we have to deal with it properly.
Gibson says he is disappointed that a document containing such serious allegations was leaked.
Obviously, the board has taken a position that I'm very, very disappointed that that position was made known publicly by I don't know who leaked the information, but it is really it wasn't right the way it was done, you know. And so as soon as we are able to have it properly investigated, then of course we will disclose the information that we find out.
Gibson says he did not present this matter to Cabinet today because it does not warrant Cabinet discussion. Cargill's attorney Alfred Sayers says last night the director denies all of the allegations the board made against him.